So brachial plexus is a nerve plexus derived from ventral primary rami of C5 to C8 and T1 spinal nerves. Now let's learn about the formation of brachial plexus. I would suggest you to draw it with me as I am also drawing it, so you will learn better and you will retain it for a longer time. Formation of brachial plexus. Now the roots. Let's take it step by step. So from the roots we get C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. Now the formation of trunks. C5 and C6 form the upper trunk, C7 continues to form the middle trunk, and C8 and T1 join to form the lower trunk. Now each trunk gives two divisions, anterior and posterior. It can also be called as dorsal and ventral. Now let's see. Anterior, posterior. This stands for upper trunk, middle trunk and lower trunk. Now, lateral cord is formed by anterior divisions of upper trunk and middle trunk. Now the posterior cord. Posterior cord is formed by the posterior divisions of all three trunks. So it will be and the anterior division of lower trunk, it forms the medial cord. So we have all three cords: lateral, posterior and medial cord. Branches of cords. So the first, that is lateral cord, we have three branches and the mnemonic is simple: L, M, L, as you can see it here. So the three branches are lateral pectoral nerve, musculocutaneous nerve and lateral root of median nerve. Now the posterior cord. The posterior cord, the mnemonic is ulnar, but here the ulnar nerve does not arise. So let's see the nerves. Upper subscapular nerve, lower subscapular nerve, nerve to latissimus dorsi, axillary nerve and radial nerve. Let's see the branches of medial cord. The mnemonic is easy. It is M4U. We have seen the branches of lateral cord. Similarly, we will see the branches of medial cord according to it. So, we have seen lateral pectoral nerve. Similarly, we have medial pectoral nerve. We have seen lateral root of median nerve. We have medial root of median nerve. And now, musculocutaneous nerve, it continues as lateral cutaneous nerve of forearm. So similarly, we have a medial cutaneous nerve of forearm and also a medial cutaneous nerve of arm. And U stands for ulnar nerve. And now let's see the root values of the nerves. For lateral cord, it is easy. All the nerves have the root value of C5 to C7. For posterior cord, upper subscapular nerve, lower subscapular nerve and axillary nerve all have same root value, that is C5 and C6. Now nerve to latissimus dorsi, it has the root value of C6 to C8. And radial nerve, it has the root value of C5 to C8 and T1, which means it has the root value similar to brachial plexus. Now root value of medial cord branches. All the nerves that start from M have the root value of C8 to T1, and ulnar nerve, it has the root value of C7, C8 and T1. Also, lateral root of median nerve, and medial root of median nerve later join and form median nerve. Now we have seen the branches of cords. Let's see the branches of roots and trunk. Now there are three branches of roots. One is nerve to rhomboids. It is given from C5. Now long thoracic nerve, it is given from C5, C6 and C7. And nerve to longus colli and scalene muscles, it is given by C5, C6, C7 and C8. Now branches of trunks. There are only two branches that arise from upper trunk, that is suprascapular nerve and nerve to subclavius. Now this point at the upper trunk where there are 6 nerves. As you can see here, there is C5 root, C6 root, suprascapular nerve, nerve to subclavius and anterior and posterior divisions of the upper trunk. This point is called as Erb's point. It has a clinical relevance. Let us learn the clinical correlation of brachial plexus. Erb's palsy can be caused due to direct blow or injury to the shoulder. It is due to the injury to upper trunk. It can also be due to childbirth injury. The roots damaged are C5 and C6 and it is damaged at the Erb's point. We have recently seen the Erb's point. Let's revise it again. As we can see here, there are 6 nerves, that is C5 root, C6 root, suprascapular nerve, nerve to subclavius and anterior and posterior divisions of upper trunk. So if upper trunk is damaged or injured, so all these nerves can be affected and that's why we can see the manifestations. Now let's see the manifestations. Injury to the axillary nerve can cause paralysis of deltoid muscle. Injury to musculocutaneous nerve can cause paralysis of biceps and brachialis muscle, but coracobrachialis is spared due to the C7 variation. Now all of this causes policeman step hand, waiter step hand or porter step hand. The clinical deformity seen is that there is adducted shoulder, extended elbow and pronated forearm. As we can see here, we can see the adducted shoulder, the extended elbow and pronated forearm. Now let's see what happens if there is an injury to the long thoracic nerve. It causes paralysis of serratus anterior muscle. As we all know that long thoracic nerve, it supplies serratus anterior. So if it is injured, there will be paralysis of that muscle and it causes winging of scapula. What happens in winging of scapula? Medial border of scapula is prominent. Along with medial border, inferior angle of scapula can also be prominent. As we can see in this picture, the medial border and inferior angle is prominent here. Now next, clump case paralysis or clump case palsy. It is caused by hyperextension or hyperabduction injury. It is injury to lower trunk and the root values that are affected are C8 and T1. Now let's see the clinical manifestations. Injury to ulnar nerve and median nerve. It causes paralysis of intrinsic muscles of hand. And we can see the clinical deformity of complete claw hand. That is extension at metacarpopharyngeal joint and flexion at interpharyngeal joint. Now T1 sympathetic root is injured. There is a sympathetic loss on face. That's called Horner's syndrome and the 3 clinical features are ptosis, meiosis and anhydrosis. Now let's see in comparison what is Erb's palsy versus clump case palsy. In Erb's palsy, there is injury to the upper trunk, whereas in clump case palsy, there is injury to the lower trunk. There is waiter step posture or claw hand deformity. I would suggest you that you remember these words like ptosis, meiosis, anhydrosis or Horner's syndrome, complete claw hand, and in Erb's palsy, policeman step hand. If you remember these words, these are clues for diagnosis in a clinical question. So if you catch them quickly, you will come to your diagnosis in a better way and you will be more accurate. I hope that you have understood this and you enjoyed this video. Please practice drawing the diagram so that you will become perfect in it. And even if you draw a simple diagram like this in exam, I'm sure that the examiner will give you marks. And I hope you like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.